What is up, gang? It is I, Carlton Flowers, your crypto pro.
Yay!
And today we are going to do a market update live. Oh yeah, we got to cover it all because it looks like we got a nice little correction happening, and I want to show you how I play the corrections in order to maximize my ability to get the best prices, and that's using the DCA game. Okay, so we got a couple of viewers in here, and that's good enough for me, so we're just going to go ahead and run through the Bitcoin chart. And for those of you who are here, can you type an A-OK in the chat if you can hear me fine, if you can hear the words that I am speaking to you. And then once I have confirmation that audio is good, I'll jump into the Bitcoin chart. Then we'll look at some of my favorite altcoins, and we'll end it with the meme coin. So this will be an easier way for me to integrate everything instead of editing. So I'm going to be going live probably a few times a week for the next couple of weeks as this correction gains speed. So this is going to be the time that you want to pay attention and learn how to read the charts, because there is a method that I use where the stochastic and the MACD oscillators give me clues as to where we are positioned within a correction and when it's best to jump in. Now, you can never perfectly time a bottom, but using this method and also applying DCA, which is dollar cost averaging, you can put yourself in the best position to leverage yourself for maximum gains. All right, so hopefully the audio is going good, but like I said, post in the comments and let me know if everything sounds good, and I'll just start plowing through Bitcoin, and we'll look at everything else as we go. Okay, so starting out on the Bitcoin chart, this is the one-day chart. We're sitting at 60,214, and we had previously wicked down to the 200 EMA line at 58,000. All right, and it looks like we are headed downstairs again. Why? Because we have a crossover coming here on the stochastic. We're also bearish on the oscillators, the lagging oscillator of the MACD. So it appears that we have two targets. I'm looking at touching back down on this 200 EMA, and I'm also looking at this big fat node down here at 52,000. As I said in my shorts, if you saw the last Bitcoin short that I did, not a short sale, but a short video, I said that in the last update I did 3 weeks ago, we talked about two targets. We've already hit one target, and that was upstairs. We were up here, and we talked about dropping down to 62K. The second target that we discussed on the last Bitcoin update was 52,000. What are the chances that we make it there? Well, let's talk about the short term and then look at the long term, and then I'll give you my opinion, because of course this is not financial advice. Anything I say in this video could get you wrecked, so keep that in mind. Nobody can perfectly call this market. So when we look at the 1 hour chart, let's blow this up a little bit. You see that we're bottomed out, and it looks like it's about to swing up and fight its way back up here to the point of control price of 62,000. But this is a 1 hour cycle within the 4 hour cycle. Here's how I use the oscillators. I look at where we are positioned on the stochastic, compare that downstairs to where the MACD oscillators are that lag behind. We see that the fast line, the blue line, is starting to curl up, and we look like we've hit a bottom on this oscillator because we went from solid red bars on the histogram to these light red. That says we're approaching the zero line. So we're going to have a swing up, a phase up, and then what you want to pay attention to is the price that returns from each peak. On this last peak, we only came back up a little bit above the point of control price. We were at about 62,000. Then we sailed down into oversold. It didn't go down that much. And then on the next rally, we come up, and at the stochastic peak, we're just back here at the point of control price. So we've rolled down, and once this next cycle comes all the way up, I don't think it's going to do much more than coming back to the point of control price. Here's the reason. When we zip to the 4-hour chart, it looks bearish. We're headed down. So we've got 4 time periods of the 1-hour bars within each 4-hour cycle. And we see that the stochastic is going down into the oversold zone. We see that the lagging MACD oscillators have crossed over bearish fast line, crossing over the slow line. We were printing green on the histogram, then light green, which says we're going back to the zero line, ending on this little red tick of a bar right there, right as we're crossing over. So that says that this is going to go down into the red. Now, there are 6 of these cycles within the 1-day cycle. So once this bottoms out, we could probably expect possibly that we fired our way back up to the point of control price node at about 62,000, or we can start looking for a node downstairs. That's where we have to jump to the 1-day chart, where we can see it here. Here they are. This is the big node that's downstairs at 52,000. Will we make it down there, and when? Now, I don't know if we do correct all the way that far down, but when we look at the 1-week chart, we can get a rough idea because we need to know where we are positioned on the oscillators in the big picture. Here's the 1-week chart. Let's scrunch this down, and this is looking ugly, guys. Very, very ugly. Now, what I notice is that we have 1, 2, 3 red candles in a row that have closed. In addition to that, the stochastic is slumping off very steeply, headed downstairs. And if we get a full cycle and go all the way to oversold, we need to start looking at the targets, the nodes out here on the VPVR. The lagging oscillators on the MACD are saying the same thing. Bearish cross right here. Fast line is below the slow line, and we're printing red bars on the histogram. So this says that we're going to continue to slump off. Now, what are the targets? First, we can be saved by the 50 EMA line, 50-period exponential moving average line. And lo and behold, look where it is meeting us, right at the top of this node here at about 52,000. That coincides with that big node sticking out on the 1-day chart. So it kind of looks like on these weekly candles, we could print 1, 2, 3 more red candles and then safely land on the 50 EMA, at which point I think we're going to bounce and move up. I don't see us failing the 50 EMA. We are in a bull market. But if we do fail the 50 EMA, hey, it's going to be a wonderful time to buy, because there is a node downstairs at 44K. That would be awesome. This is worst case scenario to me. I don't think we're ever going to see the 200 EMA until this bull market is over. And of course, the node that's way down below it, the black dashed line, okay, that's at 29,000. We're not ever going to see that again. And there is virtually no chance of us getting down to the red dash line, because I don't even think I have it on this chart. But I would say right now, we can put a red dash line on this chart, and I think it would be at the 52,000 price. So we're going to put this right here while we're talking live. Let's make a red dash line. Here we go. There's the line. Now, let's change this to red, and let's give it a thickness of 2. And then let's call it dashed. There we go. So if price comes down and we get saved by the 50 EMA, it's all good. But if we fail the red dash line, well, all bets are off. We don't know what can happen, but it could be a wonderful buying opportunity. Okay, so we've got a few viewers that are here. Sister Gold, what is up? Good to see you here. Augustin Pija. Yeah, been a long time. Greetings from Argentina. Glad to have you here. POU, I don't know what POU is, don't know much about that one. It is a Solana meme and it looks horrible. I will check that out once we get to the meme section. So it's 60% down. Maybe you can play the DCA game. Okay, hit the like button, guys, so we can get other people to know that we are live. So that is your Bitcoin outlook. And we know that Bitcoin, the big brother, determines the action for everything else. Now, let's run through some of the altcoins. There are some good ones that I want to take note of. First is Ethereum. And on the one-day chart, we have an impending crossover after a lot of uncertainty where Ethereum just was consolidating here throughout this period of the oscillator jumping up and down. And what we have here is a consolidation move. Will it break up or break down? It looks like right now it's going to break down, but how far? We could come down to the 200 EMA line, somewhere around 3,000, and then we'll have to reevaluate at that point because the oscillators look like they've bottomed out and we're printing light red on the histogram. So when you look at the 4-hour, it's coming down. Okay, that's very bearish. We don't need to look at the 1 hour, so we'll stick with the 4-hour. Very bearish, looking for this lower target at roughly 3,100, and then the lower one is at 3,000. I think we can expect a $3,000 Ethereum, okay, within the next, few weeks. Looking at the 1 week chart, looking bearish. We fell off of this peak, didn't make it to overbought zone. The MACD oscillators are looking weak, bearish crossover there, printing solid red on the histogram. So the target here of 3,000 comes right here at this node. So there's not really a huge node sticking out. So I think that Ethereum will correct, find a bottom point at the 50 EMA on the 1 week chart, and then we'll probably resume the bull market. Solana is one that I've got my eyes on. Look at that nasty red candle right there. Oh boy, a nice juicy price of 140 bucks. And let me tell you what I think is going to happen. Look at the 4-hour chart. It's very bearish. We see this steep drop off. We see the MAC oscillator crossing over, looking bearish, okay? One little tick, one red candle on the histogram there, all right? And what's the target? Well, there's not much here on the VPVR on the 4-hour chart. So I'm thinking that we could be headed out of this whole cluster here. And you can only see that on the 1-day chart. So on the 1-day chart, we had a nice pump and we gave it right back away. We came up, touched the 50 EMA on the 1 day and got rejected. And we're below this balance point. See that thick blue line? That's the balance point for Solana. And right now we're below the balance point and it looks like the stochastic is done. The blue line is curling over a little bit, but we can see that when this is going straight up and price is going straight down, this is going to cross, guys. That's definitely going to cross. So what is going to happen downstairs? Well, the fast line is already slumping over, and I think we're only going to get a few ticks of solid green on the histogram. It's going to come back to that 0 line. What are the targets? Immediately, I'm looking at the 200 EMA as it lines up with this big volume node at 130 bucks, but my target is right here, $100 Solana. And if it hits 100 bucks, I might grab a little bit because I like to play with Solana memes, and it's easier to do that when you load up on Solana. Now, jumping to the 1 week with Solana, what are we looking like? Well, that's not good because we've got a green candle, right? And then we have a very slumping stochastic heading straight downstairs. We're probably going to cycle all the way down into the oversold zone. The MACD oscillator has crossed over and look, it's coming back down. We have a wide gap between the fast and the slow line and we're printing solid red on the histogram. That says correction. Magically, notice that this 50 EMA line is starting to curl over here, and if we make it down to the 50 EMA line, it's going to coincide with this node right there at 100. So that is where I would say we can expect to see Solana in the coming weeks. If we fail that, oh man, it's not going to be looking good because we're going to have to come all the way down here close to the red dash line. Okay, but I don't think we're going to get a chance at buying $30 Solana. If we could correct that far down, I'm going all in. Now, let's check in and see what people are seeing here. Sister Gold says, last bull run, we were consolidating for a good 6 months after the last halving. You are right. And she says, I think we can chill with the selling coins. This is the time to accumulate. Yeah, I'm not selling now. I'm buying and doing the DCA. Augustine said lots of reds, and we're in a discount season. Yes, indeed. Okay, let's do a couple more altcoins here, and then I'm going to get into the micro caps and the small caps. Litecoin on the 1 day is looking like it's in a bearish slump, but it's at the point of control price of 72. We'll have to scrunch this down to see what the targets are. I'm going to extend a couple lines here. This is a target, and the red dash line is a target. And I'm thinking this stochastic is hard to read because it's moving up, but it's probably going to curl down and give us a full cycle down. And if it does, I'm thinking we fall off of the point of control price of 73 bucks and we could go down to 51. But there is a bullish cross here where it looks like the lagging oscillators have completed a cycle and are starting to move up towards the zero line. So we're going to have to look at the 1 week chart. I bet you the 4 hour, the 4 hour is looking bearish. Okay, so the 4 hour looks bearish. We're going to be moving down. There's not much that we can see as far as targets because we're falling away from this node at 72, 73. So if we fall out of this, it'll be interesting. Let's look at the 1 week. On the 1 week, Litecoin's not looking as bad as Bitcoin because we're already down here in the oversold zone. That's not too bad. So maybe we bottom out at the purple line at 51. We'll see what happens on this oscillator with the MACD. It's widening and we're going blood red. So this looks like we got more space to go while the stochastic looks like it's near the bottom. But you can always have this action where you languish down here in the bottom. It comes up, you don't get much of a rebound, and we go back downstairs to dip in the oversold again. So looking at that last dip down to the purple line, we had a nice rally. We came down, we checked in at the point at the biggest volume node at 65. We rallied again, and now we're coming back down to the middle of this big node at 65, and we'll see if we check back in at the healthy structure, the support at 51. That would be kind of nice. Now, Chainlink and Caspa, and then I'm going to move on. So Chainlink is another one that's a good market indicator. This is about to fall off of the point of control price of 14. I think we're about to get Chainlink at a discount because there's an impending crossover right there. Even though we have a possible bullish cross, I think this is going to unfurl, and we're going to dip down here further, deeper into the below zero line territory. Now, what are the targets? Right here on the screen. The first one is here at 11 and change. The second one is at 8. We'll have to jump to the 1 week chart to see what these nodes look like to see if we can get those bargain prices. Now, notice all this consolidation right here along the point of control price. And that POC is $8. Notice that the stochastic is pointing straight down and looking to go back into the oversold zone. Notice this descending gold line that I make that connects a few dots. It's a major long-term trend that went from it broke through, it used it as support, bounced off, and now we're going to fill it, okay? And we're going to go below the 50 EMA, and this is probably going to correct and go back to this consolidation zone around $8. Worst case scenario, $6. If that happens, I'll tell you what, I'm going to have to add a little bit of Chainlink. You can't see the full screen. The sides are not shown. Well, daggum. I noticed that. Why is it doing that? So you cannot see the prices. Let's see if I flip this here. Now you can at least see the side, the price. Okay, that's a little bit better. Type in the chat if this view is, there we go. Okay, that's a little bit better. I'm going to have to fool around with these settings because I'm doing some new things on here for the live stream, and it always changes by the time you jump on and you go live. All right, so Caspa is next, BC Mike. We're coming up on that. And then, yeah, we're going to hit on Miro once we jump into the memes after the micro caps. So that's your link, and here is Caspa. Caspa is very strong, and it's looking really nice. So let's just start out on the 4-hour. On the 4-hour, it looks like we're going to correct and come back into this top support resistance zone box, in this green box where we have some big fat nodes. The base of the box is 15.6 cents. The top of the box is about 17 cents. Stochastic has finished this nice run, and we're going to fall off, and we're going to need a full cycle down. Here's an impending cross on the MACD oscillators. We have one tick on the MACD histogram. Targets. First is the 50 EMA line. That's at 16.5 cents. Second target, I think this 200 EMA is going to pull up to the bottom of the box. Worst case scenario is 15.6 cents. Jump into the one-day chart for Caspa. We can see this a little bit more clearly with this double top and a stochastic peak. We're ready to roll over. We have a peak and then a little rebound on the MACD lagging oscillator. This is going to roll over. We're going to go back down to the 0 line, and then we'll test this box here. Now, if we fail the upper box and we go all the way down to the 200 EMA, which is possible to happen, you might be able to get into the 13 cents to 14.8 cents zone. All right, which is not bad at all. You're just going to have to wait it out, and Caspa is the safest play in my opinion, which is not financial advice. It's the safest play out there in crypto. So on the 1 week chart for Caspa, we can see, oh man, look at this chart. This is the most beautiful chart of anything out there. Look at these runs. We had the surge. We corrected back to the center of this whole trading channel. Second surge, corrected back to the base of the parallel trading channel. Third surge, correction to the middle of the channel. Fourth surge did not make it above the previous peak, which says that we're probably going to correct and we could come back down here into zone 2. So on the 1 week chart, it says we can get into zone 2 and fail zone 1, this top zone. So I'm thinking that by the time we get out here, it'll be at 14 cents if we have a long market correction. Summer can be boring. We can go into July and August and just be like, what is this market doing? And possibly rally a little bit in August. And then, you know what September is always like. It's a bloodbath. And then October starts out red and comes in strong. And I'm thinking that after October, it's bull market season. It's bull run season. That's where everything, in my opinion, is going to go bananas until we hit the overall market peak. Okay, so that is your Caspa on the 1 week. Now let's get into some micro caps that I hold several of that have some serious potential. The first one is POLX, Polylastic. I've got like 7 million of this. This one has 100x to 500x potential. It's a dark horse. It's a long shot. It's something that you gamble on. If they can make it to the market cycle peak, I'm looking at bagging 100x. And the reason is, let's just look at the 1 day here. Let's go straight to the 1 week because we've got a crossover on the 1 day. We're going to correct and come down to this strike zone box from 0.4046146 to 0.40155, about there. But looking at the 1 week chart, look at what this thing has done. I have been swing trading Polylastic, and I missed selling on these last 2 peaks. I should have done that because I could have made a pile. I mean, look at the percentage gain from here to that peak. Just on these bear market rallies, you're looking at 300% gain. Holy mackerel. So, you know, a nice little 3x is nothing to shake a stick at. But let's compare the gain from the all-time peak on Polylastic. That's why I like, you know, some of these altcoins, these micro caps that are dark horses. Let's start down here about where we're at and just go to the bear market rally point. If it could just get to the bear market rally, that's about 1,500% gain. That's 15x, but I did mention 100x or more. So when we look at where Polylastic started, and this is a long shot, we don't know if it'll ever get back to that point again. But by goodness, if it does, let's look at what the gain is going to be. All right, let's start somewhere down here of, say, 0.4014 and going up to its all-time peak. Look at the percentage. It's at about 6,630%. That's ridiculous. That's a 66x. Okay, so Polylastic wasn't the 500x one. I can't remember which one that I had on this list that's a 500, but I've got some hiding. Swiftcoin is the big one. This is it right here, guys. It's on Coinbase. Looking at the 1 day, we're about to roll over and correct. We might fall out of this strike zone box here. I'm already sitting on 100 grand, 100,000 coins, not 100 grand. I don't have that much, good Lord. If we come down to the 100 EMA, you'd be looking at 0.004. I've bought mostly at the 0.002 area, so I'm already way up. When we look at where this thing has come from, look at these jumps. You know, the all-time high is at nearly a cent. It's at 0.8 of a cent. But I think that Swiftcoin is going to be one that could probably, I don't know, 50x from here. This is a good one. And it's a solid project. It would not be on Coinbase if it wasn't. So pretty safe play. You can go with the Coinbase plays and bag these 5x, 10x, 20x projects all day long and just wait. You can just wait. All right. So that's Swiftcoin. What else do I want to mention? Virtual versions. Go look up the website. Go look up the website. This one's interesting. Let's just pull it up and show you. Every now and then I'll find these dark horse plays that have good tokenomics. There's only a 1 billion max supply, but check out this website. This is a pretty neat project. You've got this virtual world thing going on. And so they put a lot of time and effort into it.
In a world obsessed with materialism and a trapped society.
That's cool, but let's stop that and just scroll through. So it's a 3D universe. You can buy clothes, buy stuff. It's on Google Play. It's an Apple iPhone app. A lot of time has been put into this, and it's at a pretty cheap price. So looking at the chart, we're going to be going down lower. I've started DCAing this at a cent, and now I've been buying along the way at below 0.003. And I'm going to pick up one more amount if we can get down to the bargain basement price of 0.0015. And there's a chance that it could do that. So we never know what can happen. But man, some of these altcoins, the micro caps like RightStream. I was going to buy RightStream at 0.002 and it already blew out. It's gone bananas. It went up all the way to 8 cents. And so that was what, 20x? Is that 20x? And I let that go right by me. And we see this happen all the time. But this is like gambling. You only want to put 10, 20 bucks in at a time and treat it like it's a meme coin. Okay, so Ondo. I don't know anything about Ondo. Tell me more about that. Let's see. I am sitting on a small bag of XPR Proton. Pretty solid project, and it is on Coinbase, and it's sitting at 0.0008. It's in my strike zone box. I should pick up some more, but if it comes out of this box just to this bear market rally, you're looking at 300%. That's an easy 3x. DAPX. This is a scary one. It already had a massive move, but it's correcting all the way back down to where I first discovered it at 0.002. BlackRock's coin. Thank you. Okay. Well, let's just pull that up and go sideways real quick and look at the Ondo chart. So Ondo on Coinbase, and it's at $1. Let's look at the 1 week chart. Okay. We're going to correct. It might be coming down to this point of control price of 80 cents. And the next stop off would be 50 cents. I don't think it'll go back down to its inception. But that's a pretty interesting chart there. There's not a lot of history on the Coinbase chart. So let's look at the tokenomics for it. Ondo. And there it is right there. And we have, 10 billion maximum supply. It's already at $1. Market cap is 1 billion. So you're probably safe to make a 1x, 2x, 3x. You're not going to go to the moon with this thing because it looks like BlackRock has already soaked up all the massive profits. So who knows? COQ, I don't know much about that one. That's a meme coin, and it's not on my list of memes that I'm playing right now. Going back to my charts here, let's hit the memes, and we're going to start out with Myro. So Myro is currently correcting. It's back down to 13 cents with a big fat red candle. I told you guys this was going to happen. I'm looking for a nice opportunity to pick this up at the bottom of the box at 12 cents or to drop back down to zone 1. We have a crossover right there on the one-day chart, and it looks like the lagging oscillators are trying to fight its way up, but I bet you this fast line is going to roll over, and it's going to go down. What are the long-term targets? Well, short-term is 12 cents, 12 and a half cents, but looking at the 1 week chart for Myro, this thing is hanging on by a thin thread to the bottom of this box. And the way that this stochastic is positioned with the lagging MACD fast line, which is the only bit of data on this portion, I think we're going to go downstairs to this lower box. And so the top of that zone could be support at what, 9.4 cents? The bottom of that box is 6.5 cents. If we could come back down to the bottom box, and that goes between 4.2 cents and 1.4 cents, that would be fantastic, but I don't think we're going to make it down that far. Let's see here. So I'm going to say safely, if we can get into this box down here below 10 cents, I'm going to jump on and start to DCA, and this is what I do. I would buy a little bit as it falls into this zone and then buy a little bit more as it sinks down. That's DCA, dollar cost averaging. So while we're still down here in the oversold zone, you want to buy down here, not up here. That's the safe way to do it. Look at the overall cycle and the positioning of this thing. If you just buy down here at the bottom in the oversold zone, at the right positioning of the cycle, then you're not going to have a chance of getting stranded. A lot of people like to buy up here. You don't buy at the peak of a stochastic cycle. Wait and let it cycle down. So once we hit this peak, it would have been a nice entry point here, but you can see that we had a peak right there at 43, and it's going back down. I want it down here in the oversold zone first. So that's Myro. When slumping down, I'm thinking we're going to fail the bottom of this line at 0.0035, and we're going to go lower. I first purchased into win at 0.002. I swing traded it. I doubled. I made $100 on it and put that back into my USDT piggy bank to buy other coins. Now, win doesn't have a lot of volume, and it's not my favorite. Now, it is a long shot. Along with this next one, Rocky. Rocky is a mirror to Myro. It has the exact same tokenomics. And if we can get to the bottom of this box right here, okay, going to the 4-hour chart, this is looking bearish. We had a fake cross, but it's going to go down, and I think it's going to take a trip all the way down into the oversold zone down here where we could come to the base of this box and be at 3 zeros and a 9. But this thing has already peaked out at 2 cents. So you're looking at a 10x just from the base of the last run to the previous market, pre-market cycle peak. So this is pretty safe. And yeah, it doesn't have a lot of volume, but who doesn't want a 10x? I mean, to grab $10 of this and turn it into $100, I'm probably going to throw $100 at this and see if I can cash it out for $1,000 and throw that into some better projects like Caspa. So that's Rocky. That's my long shot. And I will use the trading bot on Telegram to pick it up because it's not on a lot of exchanges. The next one that is better of a play is Bohm, and Bohm has a ton of volume. I'm going to show you, BC Mike says you have one sol saved for Rocky. Yeah, I tell you what, that's a good idea. I'm going to throw, especially if Solana comes down to 100, then I'll grab one sol, throw that into Rocky, and let it ride. Bohm has massive volume. What are we looking at on the 1 day? We're looking at a rollover. Worst case scenario, we could come down here to the bottom of this box right here, and that is at a price of 0.008. If it fails that box, where are we looking? I don't know. That would be ugly because it's going to be below that peak or below the beginning point. So I don't see it crawling below there, but it is possible. But it has a huge market cap, and we'll look at that at the end when I show you the volume of all the meme coins. So that's BOEM. Here's Analos. Has a lot of nice volume. Analos is below. See, this is what could happen to BOEM. It starts out here. It went below it. It went below it a second time, touched down a third time, and now we're below for the fourth time with a bearish cross. Let this thing come down some more, and I'm going to get some Analos, backwards Solana, and just bet 20 bucks on it. You know, why not? Yes, Big A, I do see $100 Solana. If you missed that in the beginning, you can watch the replay and see my TA on Solana. Duco, one of my favorite. It's bearish. I'm looking for Duco to touch down at the bottom of this box at 0.002. And if it fails that, we might be down here at 0.0015. If it fails that, 0.001 is possible. Duco has a lot of nice volume, okay? And looking at this 1 week chart, it definitely could fall out of the box and come down to this big fat node at 0.00167. I like me some Duco. There's Neversol. It has decent volume. I think it's going to roll over and come down, probably getting cut in half at the 0.000035 level. Turbo. I've been doing Turbo videos. And everybody said at this 0.006 price, Turbo, it only goes up from here, never goes down. You know how they say. They do that all the time. And we had a rally. We came back down. We're still bearish. We're at least going to touch down at 0.00368. And if we fail that, it's time to look for the 200 EMA line in zone number 2, which is at 0.002 and change. It could happen. Looking at the 1 week chart, we're in no man's land, no man's land. So we can fall into this box, and at worst case scenario, this could be a support at the peak before the rally, at the peak of the consolidation at a price of 0.0015. So Turbo, very good volume, and I'm going to be ready to jump on that. Brett, here is Brett. I missed Brett. I'm not buying it unless we get a nice correction, which we could, because on the 1 day we're about to cross over. We'll be coming back to the base of this box at least, and that's 13 cents, but I'd rather have it come down to the next box at 12 cents. I still won't buy it there. It's going to have to be at the 50 EMA line at 10 cents, but I'd rather see it fall to this big fat node at 9 cents. Best case scenario would be let it consolidate and come all the way back down to 6 cents. So I don't buy into runs, and I don't buy them after most of the gains have been made. All right, if I can flip some other stuff, once this thing makes a full cycle down, we'll see where it lands. I really tell you what, I'm going to need to see it come down at least to 6 cents and maybe 5 cents before I would buy into that. You got to put a little ETH into your wallet and get on the base chain in order to buy Brett, and it's the first meme coin to be on the base chain. So that is Brett. Then we got Andy. Andy is an ETH play, and it's going to go down to at least 3 zeros and a 1 3, but it could go below that. If we fall below this previous peak here and fall out of that box, you're looking at the possibility of this node back down to the POC price of 4 zeros and a 6. That's Andy. Samo is a good one that I've played many times, but I'm going to need Samo to go all the way back down to about a half a cent before I play it again. Here's the base down here at 0.0028. All right, we've got a bearish cross. We're going to have to come cycle all the way back down, and I think it could get back down to this point of control price at 0.007, but I'd like to see that a little bit lower before it does become something that I want to hit. Grok. I've played Grok so much. I bought Grok at 0.002. I sold it when it got to 1.5 cents. It's correcting down, hanging on by a thin thread. If we can get Grok down to a half a cent, I will play that one again. But I could see it coming all the way back down to 0.0025, worst case scenario. So let's wait and see what Grok does. All right, now on to the 1 day. And what I'm going to do is look at a couple of these, and then I got to get out of here. So we looked at Ondo. We'll look at Cock Inu, and I'll look at RFox, and then I'm going to wrap it up. So we've got COQ, which is not really my favorite. We'll look at the KuCoin chart. We are in the strike zone. I mean, it's sitting at a price of many zeros and a 15. I mean, it's got a, unlimited supply. This is nothing but gambling. I mean, it's a meme. It could fall out of that box, but it looks like we've got a nice support, and it looks bullish on the 1-day chart. It could come up, but if we hit this top of this box and it doesn't make it out of the box, you're going to correct back down. Now, on the 1 week, you do have an impending crossover, so I don't think there's much more loss on Cock Inu. I think that we find the bottom of this box, we cross over, and we have another jump. So I could play this from, say, the bottom of this box to this node right here, and that will give you 100% gain. That's not much, so I don't think I'm going to play this one. If I was holding it like long term even, the gain that you're looking at just to get to the previous peak of the market, dang it, I can't get the price point to come on. Here we go. Let's click. Why is that not working? Let's zoom this up a little bit and try one more time. There we go. So you're still only looking at like 350%. I like the 100x ones. Dr. Strange is in the house. Yay! It is so glad to have the amazing, the famous, the knowledgeable Dr. Strange, who is in the VV fam. By the way, guys, I'm going to have to do a VV live stream. Dr. Strange, I'm going to have you on. We'll get on live stream. On StreamYard, and we'll have to talk about the VV market as we cross our fingers and hope for a nice rebound on the OMI token and on the value for our items. So stay tuned for that. I've got to get on out of here, and the next time that I do a live stream, if you want a full in-depth of anything, we're going to go with a super chat level of a $10 donation, and I'll spend a few minutes breaking down my opinion on any coin that you want. Big A said, yeah, sister bought $9,000 worth. Oh my gosh, that is great. That's awesome, and I already got a return, so that's the way you do it. He's playing with that big boy money. He's the big baller in the house. All right, got your big baller. Yeah, I'm scared of you, man. That's great. So hopefully you will make a bunch of money and cash it in at the right point. So that is all I've got for now. Watch the replay so you can see the TA if you didn't on Bitcoin. And next time we'll do it again. And like I said, if you want a full breakdown, we're going to go with a super chat level of $10 to break down your product, and we'll have some fun, have a good time. And I hope to see you all back then with the Crypto Pro gang. Yay! All right. Got to go take care of business. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time, guys.